Welcome to Vela Talks. Story 1 by background_habit 1006. AITA for telling my friend she needs to give me legal rights to her baby. I'm going to try and explain this as clearly as possible, but it's very confusing story, so sorry in advance. I, 28F, live with my friend and roommate, 30F, in a flat that I own. We have been friends for almost a decade and have lived together a few times over the years, and when I bought my place, she asked to move in. It was a good deal. She gets to save to buy by paying reduced rent, and I get some help with the mortgage. My friend is also from a super religious family, but does not follow a lot of her family's beliefs now. Premarital sex, drinking, etc. Her parents have accepted this, but ask that she keeps that part of her life hidden. The problem started when my friend found out she was pregnant from a one-night stand and decided to keep the baby. Her parents disowned her, and she was heartbroken, but not surprised. I told her that I was okay with her continuing to pay rent here and live with me for as long as she needs, and she gave birth to her baby boy 6 months ago. Around 2 months ago, her parents got back in touch and told her they'd like to see her. She has lots of much younger siblings, who she helped raise, so she was super excited to go and see them. But they asked her not to take the baby as they don't want to be involved with him. I offered to look after her baby while she saw her siblings, thinking it would be a one-time deal. Now she visits them almost every weekend and sometimes during the week, often staying the night, while I look after A. I didn't mind too much to begin with. He's a very good baby, and I love hanging out with him. But I got sick last weekend, just before she left to stay at her parents' house for the night, and after his temperature got super high, I took him to the hospital. It took her 6 hours to answer her phone, and she still didn't come to the hospital for another 3. Her parents live an hour away. I felt so powerless when I was sick, because I'm not his mom or guardian, and the hospital had regulations about how much I could do for him and be with him, and although he's better now, I'm worried about looking after him again. She asked me to take care of him again this weekend, and I lost it. I explained that she had really put me in a horrible position while he was ill, and if she doesn't give me some sort of guardianship/medical rights over him, I won't be watching him again. She cried and said I'm holding her hostage now by giving her an ultimatum that means she can't see her parents if she doesn't agree to give me rights to her son, and now I feel like I may be TA. Edit. Thank you all so much for all the responses and advice. You all brought up a lot of good points that I honestly hadn't considered. I've been thinking very short term, really just about trying to help my friend and look after A. I don't think I realized what the long-term implications of continuing to help her with him or for asking for legal rights to him would do, and I do think she's taking advantage of me a bit here. I am going to try and talk to her soon to discuss what exactly is happening at home with her parents and try to figure out a long-term plan in regards to her living with me and me taking care of us so frequently. I'm also going to try and gently being up PPD as I hadn't considered that as an issue. Thank you all again. I will update afterwards. NTA. Your friend is an irresponsible incubator and is taking advantage of you as a free babysitter. As far as I can see, she doesn't give a damn about the kid, and it wouldn't surprise me if she goes to visit her parents and doesn't return. Or maybe she'll return a few years later when she's married and claim she's ready to me what she should have been from the beginning. I never understand these so-called religious parents, because God never hated or disowned kids. They're an embarrassment. You need to give that friend a better ultimatum. Sign off her parental rights, because her actions has shown she doesn't care about the kid, or get out because all she's doing is taking advantage of your kindness, and don't let her walk over you for the sake of A. Story 2 by Badger895. AITA for letting my friend stay with me even though my fiancé said he didn't want her in our home. My friend wanted to leave her husband, but she had nowhere to go, so she felt stuck in the marriage. I offered to let her stay with me for a few months since I had the space and my fiancé was working in the US for 5 months. When I told my fiancé she would be staying here, he told me he didn't want her staying in his home. My fiancé and my friend don't like each other, but I thought he would be okay with it since he wouldn't be here anyway, and because I explained how awful her husband was to him. We argued about it multiple times, but I couldn't just not help her given the situation, so I let her stay even though I knew he didn't want me to. He came home unexpectedly to surprise me and is mad because he found out she's been living here. He was going to tell her to leave, but didn't because I started crying and practically begged him not to, but he's still angry at me for going behind his back and letting her live here when he made it clear he didn't want her in our home. He wants me to tell her she has a week to leave, but I told him I couldn't because she had nowhere else to go, and she only filed for divorce because I said she could stay with me while she saved for her own place, so I feel responsible. AITA? YTA, you are responsible. He should leave you because clearly, he doesn't trust you anymore. You don't respect him. You went against his wishes, and did something he told you damn well he didn't want. You're a manipulative B-word, and you're trying to make Hi feel like he's the bad guy in the situation. I'm certain your friend could find someone to leave, and now your stupidity, selfishness, and ignorance has cost you your relationship. I hope it was worth it. Story 3 by Catch_Perfect. AITA for accidentally fat-shaming my friend? Julia, 25F, and I, 25F, have been friends for years, and we both like fashion a lot. Julia is a self-proclaimed style dictator and often says my style is boring. But I like it, so I don't care. She's now in her TikTok era, her words, so she's been buying lots of clothes to fit this aesthetic. I think the colorful vibe suits her, and I can tell she feels really confident. I compliment her whenever we go out, and she always appreciates it. As for me, I have been on a no-buy since January. It was one of my goals for 2022, and I'm really proud I've stuck to it. Recently, I have rediscovered a love for my skinny jeans. I find them really comfortable. They go great with tall boots, and they keep my legs warm, which is something I struggle with. Well, Julia hates them, and doesn't make much of an effort to hide it. She's obviously allowed not to like them, but her remarks got tiring after a while. I started avoiding wearing them around her, to avoid having to hear about how they're chuggy and ugly. Yesterday, I met up with a few friends for sushi. Julia doesn't like sushi, so she said she'd sit this one out. One of the guys invited us to his house for board games. He posted it on his story, and Julia DM'd him asking if she and her sister could come. We all said yes. The first thing Julia commented on when she arrived were my jeans. I laughed it off and changed the topic. Later, someone started talking about dinosaurs, and Julia said skinny jeans were also prehistoric. I again changed the topic, but was starting to feel self-conscious about my outfit. After several comments about my skinny jeans being ugly and unfashionable, I tried to make her drop it by jokingly saying, "Just because you can't pull them off doesn't mean they're ugly." I thought the conversation would end there, but instead she got upset and started screaming at me for being an inconsiderate and insensitive bitch, and how dare I fat shame her in front of everyone. She locked herself in the bathroom, with her sister chasing after her. Basically, Julia thought I meant that she couldn't pull them off because she's fat. I was horrified she would think that, so I went to apologize that it came off that way, and that it wasn't my intention. She yelled at me that it was a bullshit apology and to leave her alone, and that being a skinny bitch, I'm not, doesn't give me the right to be fatphobic. I decided to go home to avoid spoiling the evening for the others, and because I felt bad for hurting Julia. My friends are saying I shouldn't have left and that she overreacted. I messaged Julia to apologize again, and now I'm blocked. I genuinely thought it was obvious that I was referring to style and not to her size. I also would never be able to pull off some of the things she wears. I have my own body image struggles, so I would never dream to comment on anyone else's body. AITA? NTA, don't waste your energy on this. She doesn't deserve it. Always want to make itchy comments, but when it comes to taking it, she can't handle the most basic. Being a drama queen, always want the attention on her for some weird reason. Block her too, cause right now, she's being a gaslighting B-word and deserves no apology. You did nothing wrong. You tried to change the topic, and she still attempted to bring you down. I don't know why you'd want someone so toxic as your friend far less want to apologize to one. See this event as a blessing and don't come back. She was the one who started it. You simply ended it. Good riddance if you ask me.